In this video, I will cover how to manage users for your WordPress site. Like adding posts and pages, there are multiple ways to add a user. We can use the new menu option at the top of our dashboard and choose user. We can go to the side navigation, go to user, and in the pop-out menu we can use an add user, or we can click on the user's menu item in the sidebar and select add new, or we can use the add new button at the top of the user's page. When we're adding a new user, we have to make sure that we have a username that is unique. We'll use test because I know it is already used. The email has to be unique. I'll use test because I know it's already used. First name, last name, website are all optional, but let's put in test and Mac testing. Website is something I very rarely ever use, and then password. This will show you the password that is generated by WordPress. The problem with showing you the password and creating the password for the user is these are really strong passwords. The only way to get the user their password would be to email them, which would then make it not so strong because email's clear text. So I would cancel here. I would never create a password for them. I would make sure that my send user notification checkbox is checked. This will send an email with a link to the user's email address that would allow them to then generate their own password. And the last item is the role. The role decides how much how much permissions or power this user has in your particular website. There is subscriber, contributor, author, editor, and administrator. They have progressively more power as you go down. So the roles, as they are stated on the WordPress Codex, which is their documentation, administrator, somebody who has access to all the administration features within a single site. This means they can add posts, delete posts, upload media images, change pages, manage comments, change the themes. They can do anything to the site. The next role is the editor role. Now, the editor is somebody who can publish and manage posts, including the posts of other users. So an editor cannot add pages, cannot change the settings, cannot change the themes, but they can change, edit, delete, and approve posts by other users on your site. The role of author. The author is someone who can publish and manage their own posts. So it's similar to an editor, only they cannot manage anyone else's posts other than their own. We can also have a contributor. Contributor is somebody who can write and manage their own posts but cannot publish them. So here it would take, they could write their own posts, but an editor would have to actually approve them and publish them. And lastly, we have subscriber. A subscriber is somebody who can only manage their own profile. This means that they cannot publish or they cannot write a post, a page, anything. All they can do is log into your website and see content that requires somebody to be logged in. So let's go ahead and add this user and see what error messages we get. So we go to add it and it says error. This username is already registered. Please choose another one. Same with the email address. So let's go with test5 and test5. So now we have a new username that's unique and a new email address that's unique. So we'll go ahead and click on the Add New User. So now our user is created. So we scroll down and we see all of our tests. We have test 1, 2, 3, and 5. Now let's say we wanted to delete our test 5 user. We hover over the entry and we can click delete. Then we confirm that we're going to delete this particular user, and that user is gone. What if we wanted to delete multiple users? So suppose we want to delete test 1, test 2, and test 3. We can select them all, go up to bulk actions, select delete, and hit apply. Then it will force us to confirm the deletion. We click on the confirm deletion, and now they're all gone. Suppose we want to change a username. We have test, only a subscriber. That was a mistake. We wanted to create them as an author. So we can edit their user profile. We can go down and change their role. So we're going to make them an author. Now the other things here, visual editor, you will never check this box, because if we disable the visual editor, then whenever this particular user is using or writing a post or a page, they'll have to do it in raw HTML. The admin color scheme applies to only the dashboard area, and themes may or may not actually honor whatever you select there. Keyboard shortcuts are shortcuts for doing comment moderation, and since most of our sites do not use comments because of the overhead of moderating the comments, you can just leave that blank. The toolbar shows a toolbar when visiting the site. And so at the top of the site, if you're logged in, you will see a little toolbar just like this one here, even on the site. So let's say I'll open the site up in a new tab, and when we're logged in, we will have this toolbar, which is the same as on our dashboard, where we can create new items or go to the dashboard or widgets or directly to menus. Some people do not like that, and they can always log in and change their own user profile and uncheck that if they don't like that bar. I find that bar to be very handy. Notice here that our username cannot be changed because it's unique. We can change the roles, which we did. They can edit their first and last name. Now, nickname is required field. However, it can be anything. It will initially default to the username. So if we want to change that to nicknames, then we will have a username of test and a nickname of nickname. Display name publicly as, meaning on any posts or pages that we are the author for, it will display. So let's go look. Here's a post displaying my name as first name, last name. So if you don't want first name, last name, you can select username, first name only, first name, last name, first name, or nickname. Email, we can change that. So if we wanted to, we can change that to testemail1@selco.info. Website, as I mentioned earlier, we don't use. Biographical information. You can put a short blurb about you as an author. Some themes and some plugins will actually expose that. Typically, on most stock themes, it does not show. You can add a profile picture, but in order to add a profile picture, you have to set up a Gravatar image at gravatar.com. And it is tied to this email address. The user can also generate a new password. So when we update the user, if we have changed the password, the user will get an email notifying them that their password has changed. That is managing users. Thank you.